Texas went to the SEC and just started putting belt to ass. That's all this is. The belt to ass is all I've been seeing ever since Texas went to the SEC. The bottom line for me is you've got QB1 and Quinn Ewers. You got Isaiah Bond, who had just got hurt the last game. I'm not sure if he's going to be playing this game. Pretty sure it wasn't a serious injury, but I could be wrong there. You got a crazy backfield in Blue and the other running back tandem. They have a great defense, the number one defense, I believe, in college football. Don't quote me on that. I got to make sure I'm right. Um, yes, total defense, number one in college football, only giving up 229 yards a game, 1,300 yards on the season in 6 games. So outside of Tennessee, Ohio State, this is the best defense in college football. And I think they're going to cause a lot of problems for Georgia. Georgia has struggled this season. I think a lot of the off the field issues that we've seen around this Georgia program, we've seen guys, get DUIs and speeding tickets. This has been an ongoing thing for the past couple of years under Kirby Smart. I don't know what's going on with this program, but at some point, the noise around the program catches up with you. At some point, that seeps into practice. At some point, you're having a talk with the team about all of this that's going on. And the whole job of the coach and the coaching staff on an elite football team like this is to quiet the noise. That means players can't create extra storylines when they're going into big games. That means coaches can't do extra things when they're going into big games. And they haven't done a great job of this. They put a lot of pressure on themselves simply by being a great team, but then also by not living up to the responsibilities of a great team off the field. And it's not everyone, but a few bad apples can ruin the bunch. I think Georgia is going to have their hands full going to Austin, taking on this Texas football team. I don't think this game is going to be close. I think Texas wins this game by 10 points, and I think Texas dominates and shows everyone why they're the best football team in the country and why they're well on their way to a college football playoff berth and possibly a national championship. What are your thoughts on it, Doug?
Yeah, I think I have Texas winning this game. I was trying to go against the grain, trying to find some rationale to say, JT, you're wrong. But, Georgia lost to Alabama a few weeks ago, which Alabama just lost to unranked Vanderbilt last week. Um, and we know college football, it varies week to week. Like, there's no definitive winner depending on what school you play. And the SEC is loaded. I mean, Georgia is fourth in the SEC, and they're 5-1. So, with that being said, with the SEC being the most competitive conference in the entire NCAA, even if Georgia lose this game, right, they still have opportunity to hit the playoffs, with the additional spots that are available this season. I think the game may not even be close, JT. You're right. I don't think it may not even be close because they just blew out Oklahoma last week too, man.
Yeah, in the Red River rivalry. I will say though, if Georgia loses this game, their playoff shots are over.
You think so?
Because I think so because you mentioned the Alabama loss to Vanderbilt. We can't discredit Vanderbilt. Vanderbilt is a very good football team, and they've got some very credible wins on their record. They beat Virginia Tech at home. Virginia Tech continues to improve as a football team and pick up big wins. They beat Alabama at home. That has turned out to be a pretty big win, of course, with it being Alabama. Then they went on the road last week and they beat Kentucky at Kentucky. Now that's a tough feat. Now, mind you, Kentucky went on the road the week before and beat Ole Miss. So as these teams that Vanderbilt keeps piling up wins against go and they continue to get wins, it makes their resume look even stronger. Now, it doesn't hurt that they had a 3-point loss to Missouri, even though Missouri continues to slip down the rankings. The loss that does hurt Vanderbilt is the 4-point loss that they suffered to Georgia State.
Yes.
That shouldn't have been a team that beat Vanderbilt. You take that blemish off of their record, and Vanderbilt right now is a top 25 team that's possibly competing for a playoff spot. So I think I say all that to say that Georgia losing this game gives them 2 losses in the SEC. I don't think a 2-loss SEC team is going to the playoff, especially when you still have Texas A&M, Texas, LSU that are all undefeated, and LSU's resume is very undefeated in the conference. Let me be clear on that. LSU's resume is very sharp. They got the win against Ole Miss. Texas A&M's record is very sharp. They blew out a top-ranked Missouri team. Missouri was highly ranked, went into College Station and got belt the ass. So I think Georgia loses this week and they're out of playoff contention because you got so many teams. You got Penn State who's doing their thing in the Big Ten, went on the road, came back, was down 28-3 or something like that against USC, came back, won the game 33-30. I was watching that. Palms were sweating because I bet on Penn State, but they came back, won that football game. So I think with the way a lot of these teams are playing, Clemson is dominating the ACC once again. It's going to be very hard for the SEC to get 3 or 4 teams in. I think they could get 3, but as of right now, Georgia is on the outside looking in for those 3 slots.